And a good Sunday morning to you. Quite the mess out there this morning. Not a lot of snow overnight, of course, but did see a lot of freezing rain and sleet in the Charleston area, up to about 1/4 to 3/10 of an inch of ice. Greatest ice accumulations have been across the eastern mountain counties, also there in northeast Kentucky and southeast Ohio, where the colder air remains. Now, here's the good news. That warm wedge is starting to get stronger here, so we should be passing the freezing mark very soon. But we have had some reports of accidents and some downed trees, so you want to be very careful out there. Even as our air temperatures go past the freezing mark into the afternoon, the ground is still very cold as a result of those frigid temps we saw yesterday. So could be one of those cases where it's 34, 35, and yet you're still having some icing and some slush on some of those roads for sure. So please be careful out there. But I do like the trend of making it past the freezing mark here soon. That should limit the icing on those trees and power lines. However, sometimes when that happens, you get kind of a rebound effect. Some of those power lines can go back up and kind of jostle back and forth, and sometimes that could lead to additional power hits. But it looks like more than 2,000 is the current update in Kanawha County and also Lincoln County. So we're going to monitor that as we head in towards the afternoon. So freezing rain turning into a cold rain for the remainder of today. And then later tonight, we're going to wrap in colder air as the low pressure moves east. And we're going to see some sleet and, yes, even a little bit of snow return tonight. Now, here's a live look in Charleston. As you can see, not a lot of snow here. Had a little bit overnight. Then we went to sleet, and then we went to freezing rain. The reason this happened so quickly is because of the warm wedge, but also more specifically, there was a little ribbon of warmer air about 5,000 feet above our heads, and that moved in fast. And that melted those snowflakes in the upper atmosphere. They didn't have enough time to refreeze before they reached the ground. And as a result, that's what led to that freezing rain. You can actually see the trees from Greenbrier Street's perspective looking pretty icy for sure. Also a live look in Milton looking pretty nasty out there. A lot of snow, a lot of slush, and those roads can remain icy. So keep that in mind here. If you are traveling for the remainder of today, even as these temperatures are inching up a little bit. So around 30 right now in Charleston, 32 Logan. That's at the airport, though. I'm seeing a lot of 32s and 33s in those low spots, and that warm wedge, you can clearly see it starting to build north, even as far north as northern West Virginia nearly. Now, the eastern mountain counties, we're talking Beckley, Lewisburg, Richwood. This corridor right here is going to stay colder longer, and also portions of northeast Kentucky and southeast Ohio. That area will stay colder longer also, mainly dealing with freezing rain, but could also be sleet and, yes, even a little bit of snow across our far northern counties. So here's the latest radar satellite showing a lot of pink here. And again, that is suggesting some freezing rain for most of us. Further north, kind of a sleet snow mix. Once you make it up towards the Mason-Dixon line, it's pretty much all snow. But look at the green down in the coal fields. That is just a cold rain. And that cold rain is now starting to spread into the Kanawha Valley. So this is going to help matters in regards to icing. It should really shut that icing down here very soon, if not already, with just a plain cold rain moving into the area. But again, you still want to be careful on the roads. It could be slushy. It could still be icy in spots. So what is causing this warm wedge? Well, it's this low pressure down in northern Alabama. You get counterclockwise flow around these systems. So we're getting more of a southeast wind right now. That southeast wind is falling off of the mountains. And as air sinks, it naturally warms. So that is what's creating this warm wedge, and hopefully sooner than later, as we just talked about, this warm wedge will expand further north and get rid of this freezing rain, and we could be just dealing with a cold rain out there. Now later tonight, as this low pressure moves into the Cumberland Plateau and then east into Virginia overnight tonight, it's going to start to wrap in colder air and some snow showers. So you don't want to let your guard down here. Tonight into tomorrow morning, it's going to be pretty nasty out there. All this moisture, all this slush is going to refreeze. Now, we're not expecting a lot of snow on the back end of this low. Might get a fluffy inch or two, but you add that on top of those very icy conditions, and that will lead to treacherous travel overnight tonight into Monday morning. There will likely be numerous school cancellations on Monday, and that will likely continue for much of the week at times with some bitter cold air in our forecast. In fact, the National Weather Service has issued an extreme cold watch beginning Monday night, and that's going to go for a good portion of the week. Temperature trend today, here we are in the mid to upper 30s over the next couple hours. So again, that will get rid of that freezing rain. We're still going to be very wet out there, and then we're going to change back to sleet and snow, looks like, around 6 or 7 this evening. And then overnight tonight, temps will dive back down into the teens, and that is going to allow for a lot of refreezing. So expect some icy conditions overnight tonight into tomorrow morning with a little bit of light snow also. So here's our Futurecast model clearly showing that warm wedge. Here we are at 3 o'clock. I mean, it's pretty much a cold rain as far north as Ripley, Ravenswood, Parkersburg, much of our area. Now in the eastern mountain counties, you'll hang on to that freezing rain a little longer. Southeast Ohio, they call this the snow and ice belt for a reason, lingering with some ice and snow in that area later today. There we are at 6 o'clock, still dealing with some cold rain. Note our temperatures several degrees above freezing by that point, so that will melt some of that slush. But again, as temps fall tonight, all that moisture left, even some snow showers developing, that is going to create some very icy conditions by early on Monday. So again, expect school cancellations tomorrow. Could be a fluffy inch or two given this cold air. That snow can accumulate a little faster, especially near I-77 points east. That will be the best corridor of seeing a little bit more snow. Now back in the tri-state, looks like a dusting to 1 inch, but look at those temps down in the teens. That is going to cause a big issue tomorrow morning, and we're not going to get out of the teens on Monday with additional flurries and snow showers developing into the afternoon. Cold temps here Tuesday morning. We're going to clear things out. We're going to see temps fall to around 0. I wouldn't be shocked to see some below 0 readings early on Tuesday. And then another system may come in here late Tuesday and Wednesday. Not a lot of snow with this. Might get a dusting to an inch out of that. But again, that is enough to create some slick and icy conditions there late Tuesday and Wednesday morning. So moral of the story is it's going to be a nasty stretch of winter coming up. Not a whole lot of snow for snow lovers, but there is enough there to cause some problems at times. And with that bitter cold air, there will likely be additional school cancellations as the week progresses. So there we are tomorrow, 19 degrees. It's a weather alert for slick and icy conditions. Tuesday, very cold start in the morning. Should see a mix of sun and clouds in the afternoon. So I guess Tuesday is probably our best day overall at 26 degrees. 20 on Wednesday, 16 Thursday. Here comes another clipper system Wednesday into Thursday, and that could produce a light accumulation of snow. Weather alert will continue into the weekend due to frigid cold. Highs are only going to be in the teens. Overnight lows well below 0 if the skies clear out. So Thursday night and Friday night very well could be the coldest nights we see in this stretch. And it looks like after today, we will be below freezing for several days in a row. And that very well could take us into Sunday and even early next week as February begins. Stay safe and stay warm out there. Chief Meteorologist Doug Harlow will have another update later today.